Hey everyone, welcome to a mail call video. This is a little bit different for me. I don't usually do mail calls, but I got a package in the mail last week from my friend Dennis. And me and Dennis, we've been exchanging notes back and forth for quite some time. He sends me trinaries and quads, I send him his double O's. But this time, when he sent his package, and this is just some of the stuff that was in there, he sent a couple notes that he had questions on. And I thought these would make a really cool video. So let me get the mail call portion of it out of the way. Like I said, he sends me all his trinaries and quads. And this here is my box of trinaries. Okay, these are all trinaries. And just to give you an idea of how many trinaries are there, there's $500. There's 1,000. Okay, so there are more than 1,000 trinaries in here. I do not save trinaries because they're worth money. I save trinaries because I'm trying to pair numbers. I've said that dozens and dozens of times. Trinaries are not worth anything extra. Here's the proof. I have 1,000 of them. If you have 1,000 of anything, they're not worth anything. Okay, so no. Stop trying to tell people that trinaries are worth something when they're not. If you want to tell me that trinaries are worth $3 to $5 a piece, fine, give me $5,000 for the shoebox. But yeah, there's 1,000 notes in comparison, and there's more than that in here. No, trinaries are not worth anything. End of discussion. All right, let me get those out of the way. Now, I put all my trinaries in order, and let's see, these were all the trinaries that I got from Dennis. I went through these, none of them were matches in here, so I will then be going through to see which ones are keepers and which ones are written on and in bad shape. Those I will send back in circulation. The rest of these will go back in here. Now I have another box just like this full of my quads. Once again, if you think quads are worth money, I have 1,000 of them. If you have 1,000 of anything, they're not worth money. All right, so let's just move that out of the way. So yeah, those were the trinaries. Actually, were those? Yeah. And let's see, these were all quads that he had sent me. And one of the other cool things that he sent, he found a partial strap of uncirculated notes that are quads. And he did keep a couple, and I'm sure if you look at the serial number, 80333302 is where these start with. So you can guess which ones he kept. He kept all the ones that ended up making trinaries, and he kept the radar, of course, which he should, absolutely. But he was kind enough to send me the rest. So I get to put this giant stack of trinaries into my box, knowing that I've got a huge chunk of numbers. So with a little luck, I'll be able to pair some of those. All right, but like I said, all that wasn't the stuff I wanted to show you. That was just the standard stuff that we trade back and forth. Dennis sent me notes that he had some questions on, and I was fascinated. So let's take a look at what he sent. He sent me 6 notes. The first note he sent me is this one right here. And he was questioning, he wanted to know my opinion on this 4, okay? The 4 looks solid. The 4 looks like it's all supposed to be there, and I don't see any damage around it. The hard part is trying to determine whether or not that happened during the print process or if that happened after the fact. And that's where the trouble lies. If you can come up with anything at all that could cause this to happen after the fact, well, then it becomes hard to prove that it happened during the print process. So when it comes to this particular note, I mean, I think it's neat, but I don't think you can prove that this happened in the printing process. You can see that there is dirt on the note. The note is circulated. So because of that, anything could have happened. Any small little thing could have dragged across there to remove some of that ink. Do I think it's neat? Yes. Do I think it's an error? I don't think you can tell. And if you can't tell, well, I always lean the safe way. The second note he sent was this one here. And he was questioning the E. And at a glance, when I looked at it, I was pretty impressed, because when you look real close, it looks like there is a foldover error. Okay, it looks like a gutter fold. And I thought that was extremely interesting because it's clearly missing that E and you can clearly see the folds. So I thought for sure, yeah, this is definitely going to be an error. But then I took the note out and I examined it even closer. And when you take the note out, I wonder if you can see. There we go. There is actually, I can't tell if, well, on this side, yes, you can tell. Look right on the bottom. There's tape. If you look at the back of this note, see the shine? That's glue. This note was tore. And this is not a crease, it's a tear. And that tear was both glued and taped back together. And that poor glue and tape job is why a portion of that is missing. You can see a portion of the A there is also wrong. You can see how the N in note is screwed up. But yeah, when I first looked at that, I thought for sure this was some type of gutter fold error. But under close examination, you can clearly see the tape and you can clearly see glue, the shine of the glue on the back especially, knowing that someone tried to repair this note. I'm not saying somebody tried to fake this as an error. I'm saying somebody simply taped it together and taped it together incorrectly. I thought it was very interesting. Like I said, at first, it kind of got me. I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then I looked, and yeah, that's what that one is. All right. So those are the first two. Then we've got this one here. This one has to do with the color of the inking. This ink here, as you can see for the serial number, is just fine. And this is a dark green. And it is. I don't know how well the color's turning up on here, but this green is much darker than this. To me, this just seems just like a darker print, as if a thicker print. But to me, that's all you have. You have a thicker print here, and you have a thinner print over here, giving the illusion that this is two different colors. But to me, I think this is just a regular note. But he also sent this one. And looking at this one, here's your normal color. But on this side, this does not have a dark green overprint. This, to me, looks almost black. This, to me, looks like an inkwell contamination error. It looks like it's partway through the process because the digits themselves aren't any wider. In fact, some of them even look narrower than the ones on this side. But you can clearly see, at least I hope you can see, that this has black in it versus this side that is still bright green, just dark green. I don't know if you need to be an art student to appreciate that, but this is just dark green, where this, to me, actually looks like it has black in it. So I would say that this note is most likely a late run on the ink contamination error. That would be my thought anyway. I'd have a tough time selling it. I'd have a tough time convincing someone else of that. But I would most certainly keep it in my collection until I was to come across one that is pure black. But yeah, that's my thought on this one. So I think that's pretty cool. Then the last group that he had, the first one here, you can see how the paper is torn and flipped over. That is referring to a lamination error, except lamination errors on paper money, that's not really the thing. This here is purely damage. And something tells me that he might have actually been referring to this section of the paper here. But when this is sitting right next to here, this has to be considered damage. And if this is damaged, then why wouldn't this area here be damaged? So I'm calling this just a damaged note. So no additional value there. But then we get to the last note, and this one's kind of interesting. Now, I'm going to take this one out of the sleeve. It's circulated, so I'm not worried about any additional damages or anything else to the note. But when I take this one out, you can see that there is a portion of the back here. You can see all that. That's clear as day. Now, when you look real close, I don't know how much I can zoom in here, but there appears to be in the lines, you can see these little lines. Look on this side, how these lines are also broken up, as well as having this spot right here. I would think that this might be a small board break. A board break is when the backing that they are using to apply pressure isn't, the board itself may actually be broken. If that's the case, this is literally where the break would be in the board, causing no pressure to be administered in this little section here, so that the paper was not properly forced into the engraving. Looking at this, like I said, the reason I don't think it's damage, you've got a darker spot here, as well as the complete white line here, and the breaking of the lines on either side. Now, when you feel the paper, it also feels really smooth, almost lifted, almost. It wouldn't feel raised up if this was damage and something gouged into the paper like that. So that's why I'm kind of leaning toward this actually being a board break error. Now, yeah, it is a very subtle one. Normally with a board break, what would happen is where this is here, the entire rest of the note wouldn't get printed. So this could be the start of the board break, just a simple crack. But yeah, that was my thought. He sent me these notes and he wanted my opinion on them. Like I said, for the most part, I think a lot of them weren't errors, but this one here may very well be a board break, a minor one, but still a good catch. And then I think that serial number, to me, to my eye, that does seem to have black ink in it. When you hold it like this, these are definitely two different colors. Not even two different shades, they're two different colors. This is green and this is black with green in it. So those two, yeah, I think he's successful on his hunts. All right, guys, I just wanted to share that with you. If you learned anything new, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. Love reading all your comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.